Once upon a time, there was a girl who lived in a cabin in the woods. It was nothing fancy, but simple and humble. She shared this cabin with a small bear. The girl was quite foolish, but the bear was very wise. Together they lived in peace and harmony, though that is not to say there were no storms. In her past life, the girl had traveled the world far and wide, exploring every corner of the earth and its offerings. She had eaten escargot in Paris, sipped Turkish coffee in Istanbul, even ridden a reindeer in the Mongolian taiga. But then a plague befell the land, and all her travels were ended. Dark clouds often covered the sky. Life could be lonely and difficult. One day, though the bear was not an outdoorsy man, seeing that the girl was sad and wanting to cheer her, he said, "Come, let's take a long walk and see what mischief we can find." And so they set out, wandering. Though it seemed absurd, they embarked on an expedition through their own backyard. They spent hours in the forest which had always surrounded them, but what they found this time amazed them. Now, instead of jet planes, she took footpaths. Instead of people, she met creatures. Some of them were shy and clung to the trees, while others came all the way up to her attic bedroom window to visit her. The moths wished her sweet dreams, and the owls serenaded her to sleep. She noticed that each morning after a heavy rain, she found dewdrops glistening like crystal upon every leaf. The forest became an emerald city more majestic than any place she had yet seen. Now, instead of fancy Paris bistros, she foraged nature's delicacies. Wild chanterelle mushrooms, leafy greens, and dandelions festooned her dinner plates. She and the small bear ate like kings. She grew to know the trees and studied them, and learned that conifers send particles into the air when they're thirsty. These particles gather moisture, which in turn creates rainstorms. How amazing, she thought, that the trees control the sky. And in her foolishness, she imagined that every rainstorm was actually falling up. And though the bear assured her that this was a very silly idea, he understood her. For together they could now see that every dark sky later brought rainbows, that every crash of thunder was a future spark of light, and that every raindrop was actually a communication from the trees up to the heavens. Though isolated, the woods became her travel guide. She found it was all around her, and she gladly flew from continent to continent of tree stump, crossed the oceans contained in one puddle, and climbed canopies of treetops and mountain views. The thunderstorms no longer brought her down. They lifted her up. And she realized the woods had told her a secret, that her foolishness was really her superpower, because it gave her the ability to make the rain fall up.